Well, today everybody, in this video we're going to be checking out the Laney Ironheart Amp Sim from Aurora Digital. Laney and Aurora DSP are two brands that I have zero exposure to. I've never played a real deal Laney Ironheart or just a Laney amp in general, but I've heard so much about them. And Aurora DSP is a company that I'm not too familiar with, but I'm really excited to showcase their product, check it out for myself, and share my findings with you all. As always, man, be sure to follow me on Spotify if you want to hear some of the riffs that I create on a daily basis. I love to create and make original music, so that would help me out a lot. Be sure to like this video and be sure to subscribe to this channel that you're watching right here. This channel is awesome, and I love creating for you all and sharing my passions with guitar and tones and everything in between, okay? Thank you so much in advance. So let's dive on into the amp sim. Let's not waste any time. This amp sim can be broken down into 4 sections. In the front of the amp sim, we have a stomp section, which is essentially 2 overdrives and or boosts, so you can color and shape your tone and get, some aggression out of the amplifier. The amp section is exactly what you would expect. It's literally a Laney Ironheart modeled and replicated in plug-in format. Then we have a cab section with 2 different cabs. We have a Laney cab, and then we also have a GS cab, which I'm not exactly sure what GS stands for, but 2 cabs nonetheless, as well as it is incorporating the IRX Technology from Aurora Digital. This is something that adds a level of airiness and realism to the cab section. I first found this out when I was using the Aurora Digital Sub-Zero amp sim, so I really welcome that. Then the last section of the amp sim, we have the effects section. First we have an EQ, then we have a limiter, which more or less serves the purpose of a multi-band compressor, which I find incredibly beneficial, especially when mixing. Then we have a delay with 3 different types that includes digital, slapback, and analog. And then we have a reverb section. This amp sim also comes with a bunch of different presets, an input and an output knob, and a noise gate. All things that are incredibly beneficial when using an amp sim. And they got a tuner too.
And they got a food table too.
So, starting off with the positives of this amp sim. The best way I could describe it is different. That's why I put it in the thumbnail of this video. It's different because it is exactly that. This amp sim and this type of tone, to the best of my knowledge and to my ears, is not necessarily very modern. It's kind of got like an old school approach as well as like kind of a doomy type of flavor. It's not very articulate. It's a little sludgy, a little muddy at times, but one could welcome that because it is not just like, a 5150 clone, for example. It's unique, it's different, it's got a level of sludge and doom and griminess to it. It's not just, like I said, like a run-of-the-mill 5150, super tight, articulate, modern type of sound. I wouldn't call this modern, and for that, I appreciate the variety of tones you can get with this amp sim. Something different. also love the attention to detail on the actual Ironheart amp section of this amp sim as well. If you have a real deal Laney Ironheart, I would like to think that you would feel incredibly satisfied when using the plug-in version, because all the intricacies and all the different flavors you can get, the different, boosts and dynamics and EQ, all the stuff that's on the face of the amplifier is like really intricate. And honestly, it might be a bit much for me because I'm not one for dialing in tones and tone chasing. I just like to click on something and go with it. But again, like I said, if this is something that you're really into, I see it's a win. And the last thing I want to talk about in terms of positives is, in fact, the IRX technology from Aurora Digital. I just want to touch on this one more time. Whenever you're recording a real amplifier in a real cab in a real world setting, there's a level of airiness and like real world presence that is inside of the guitar signal and the guitar sound that, to the best of my knowledge and in my experience, is more or less hard to replicate in an amp sim. Well, Aurora Digital has created this effect, and when you crank up the IRX technology knob, again, it adds that level of realness to your amp sim. It doesn't create like that sterile type of sound that amp sims, back in the day used to have, where like it just sounded very digital and, it sounded sick, but like it was just clearly like an amp sim. This like kind of blurs the line between like real world and digital, and for that, I really sincerely welcome it. But overall, everybody, I will be transparent with you guys. I'm not really necessarily a huge fan of this sound for me personally. My opinion is not indicative of the product or Aurora DSP or Laney. It's just not necessarily my flavor. I find this type of amp sim to be a bit too sludgy for me personally and what I like to create. I like something to be a little bit tighter and a little bit more articulate. But like I said in the beginning of this video, I welcome the change, and if there's ever an instance where I need some doom or some sludge or some grime, this amp sim is definitely one that I would choose. So those are my opinions on the Aurora DSP Laney Ironheart. What do you guys think of my video, and what do you guys think of your own personal findings? If you own this or if you've tried it, I'd love to hear from you guys down below in the comment section, as well as for you real deal Laney Ironheart fans out there and owners of the actual amp. Let me know your opinions on the amp and why you like it or why you don't, because I'm always down to listen to other players, and I will always, welcome opinions, because in turn I become better and I become more knowledgeable, and I just like to hear other people's reference points, okay? So with that being said, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Spotify, all the things that I asked. I really sincerely appreciate it. And with that, everybody, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.